It's always exciting when the Breeders' Cup rolls around as we get ready to turn to November tomorrow. And it's time for the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar in SoCal, Cal. And the Surf and Turf Special, it is a magnificent spot. It's time to hook up with our good friend. It's me, Gino Buccola from the Daily Racing Form to set us up with everything that's going down Friday and Saturday at Del Mar.
Yeah, when we think about championship events in sports, right? We just saw the World Series. We think about baseball. We think about basketball, the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup, in hockey, in football, the Super Bowl. That's what the Breeders' Cup is for horse racing. 2 days, championship races, 14 races. So it's kind of like a track meet, Scott, where we have different divisions of horses. You have the young horses that are sprinters. You have the young horses that want to go a little bit longer. You'll have the girls, the best of the girls in the distaff. You'll have the boys in the classic, the best of the boys, the young in the juvenile. So it is really cool if you're a sports fan and you've ever been out to a track meet where you get to see everybody line up against the best and go at it. That's what the Breeders' Cup is. We have, it kind of reminds me a little bit of March Madness too, because you have qualifying races all over the country and actually all over the world. So you really do get the best of the horses from the West versus the best from the East versus the best from the Midwest. It's really, really cool. And man, like, Southern California, like the best place to go and play the ponies and have a party is at Del Mar. And so that's what we're going to be doing over the next few days at Del Mar.
You know what I did? Like I've been to the Breeders' Cup several times, and I thought the best one I ever went to was at Churchill Downs. Like I thought, like going to it there was like it was better than going to the Kentucky Derby there.
The bigger venues are so great on the big days like that. Churchill is so massive. Belmont's another place. They're doing a lot of renovations over there right now. Del Mar is kind of the opposite. It's unique. It's a small town area. There's not a lot of space kind of coming in and out. So it's going to be really crowded. And of course, it never rains in Southern California. It's actually supposed to rain on Saturday, which would be hilarious because one of the main reasons they have the Breeders' Cup out on the West Coast so often is to stay away from the rain. If you were to have it right now at this time of the year anywhere else, you would have the possibility of there being rain if you were running in Saratoga or if you were running at Churchill Downs. So they try to keep it out west so that way it won't rain. And of course, this week it might rain.
Minute. You're telling me that it's going to rain on Saturday all day?
Like 70% on Saturday. Friday's not supposed to be quite yet, but I think a little early and late on Saturday. So fingers crossed. It's still Thursday right now. We have a couple days. But you know what, Scotty? If we're making money, they're not going to rain on my parade. They're not going to rain on my parade. I don't care what the weather is like as long as I'm making some Skrilla, as long as I'm making some cash. So let's get on into it. We have a couple plays for you for Friday and a couple plays for you for Saturday. Over on Friday, we're going to look at the Juvenile Fillies. So I was going to say something about a young girl. I felt like that would get me in trouble with you and me, Scotty. So the Fillies, the young girls here, Lakara is the horse that I'm going to play. She's 12-1. What I like about her in this spot, Scott, she's versatile. She's a horse who's actually shown some speed, but she has shown that if she has a bad start, if something happens at the beginning, she can overcome that. And that's what I like with these young horses because they've shown me different dimensions. Horses that are just really fast, I get worried about playing them when they face better horses because everybody else has speed and they're just kind of used to beating up on horses that they're better than. In this Juvenile Fillies, we're going to go to Lakara because she has some versatility. And this might be a horse that we could see in the Kentucky Oaks next year, Lakara at 12-1.
All right, what about the ninth race, the Juvenile?
Yeah, what's really fun about this one might be a Kentucky Derby horse next year. So these are the horses that we're watching. They're 2 years old right now, and next year there will be 3 trying to run in the Derby, in the Preakness, in the Belmont, and in those races. I'm going to look to the number 5, Jonathan's Way. It seems like there is a lot of early speed in this race. If you're looking at the pace projector on the graphic that we've shown, it says fast early pace up there. You can see the 1, the 5, the 2, the 4, the 6. They're all in the mix. Jonathan's Way is really fast, but he also can sit off the pace. So that's the key for him in this race. What type of tactics will they choose? I think he went to the lead last time because that was what was best suited for that particular field. There wasn't as much speed in there. This race, they're going to be going a lot faster early. So I think he's going to take back. He's going to try to make one late run, and he's going to get the jump on the number 10, Chancellor McPatrick. So 4.5-1 on Jonathan's way. That'll be our 2 plays for Friday.
All right, let's go to Saturday and start with the turf race, number 7.
Yeah, I love this horse, Scott. This might be my favorite one all weekend long. I played Shariar last year because last year I was at Santa Anita in the mornings, and I got an opportunity to watch these horses work out in the mornings all of the days leading up to the Breeders' Cup. Shariar is a Japanese bred, so this is a horse who I hadn't seen all that much, and I could not believe how he stood out to me on track. When you go to watch any good athlete warm up or exercise, it's like you're watching Steph Curry in the warm-ups. You know what's good when they're good. You can see it. And when you watch good horses out on the track, they exude confidence. Like, they look you in the eyes. They're trying to tell you, like, I know what's up. I'm a horse. I'm here on the track. It's workout time. Later, I'm going to come run and I'm going to come win. I felt like that when you're watching Shariar. Right. He had trouble when he finished 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Turf last year. That was a way tougher race. I think he's coming into this race off of a nice prep to send him here. 10, probably going to be about 10-1 when it's all said and done. I think he'll get bet. That's perfect for us. We like Shariar, one of our best bets of the weekend, at a really big price in the 7th.
All right, the 7th race, the turf, is the 3-horse Shariar at 10-1 right now. See if it changes by Saturday. All right, the classic, the 8th race. Who are you going with here?
Yeah, we know a lot of these names. We know Fierceness, who has been a really good 3-year-old all year long. Sierra Leone, who was the runner-up in the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to go to the number 1, Forever Young. I think there are a couple different songs I could sing to you on this one, Scott, if we wanted to say Forever Young, but I'll keep the folks out there. They probably heard me singing enough yesterday. You guys have had about 15 hours of Gino on the shows this weekend, so I think everyone's a little done with my voice. But Forever Young is, in my opinion, the horse in this race that has the highest upside. So if everybody were to run their best race, I think Forever Young is best, and he's 6-1. Probably will be more like 4-1, I think, when it's all said and done. And that's fine. That's where he should have been. But this is a horse who is 6 for 7, Scott. His only loss came when he was 3rd in the Kentucky Derby. And the reason why he was 3rd in the Derby and didn't win was because when they were closing, Sierra Leone was leaning in on him, was bumping him, was getting up all over him. So I think with a smoother trip, Forever Young, very, very interesting there. And that's the main event. What they've done this year too, Scott, they put the Breeders' Cup Classic in the middle of the day because that way it's more prime time for TV. And what it does is it starts the late wagers. So if you want to play like a late pick 5, it actually starts with the Classic and goes races 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you play early races, they end with the Classic. So that's the really important race that you want to make sure you're right about on Saturday.
Well, it's interesting that 2 of the biggest races on Saturdays going with Japanese horses back-to-back there in the 7th and 8th race.
Because they brought in 19 horses this year, the most they've ever brought from Japan. A lot of it has to do with the Japanese horse racing industry. They're just very, very smart. They're ahead of the game. They breed horses very sound and really well from the bottom up. And they've taken a couple American stallions and done great work with them out there. So a lot of these horses that are like Japanese horses or have been running in Japan, they're actually bred to run well in the U.S. And, Forever Young is one of them who could be a winner in the Classic.
All right, let's go to the last one, the 9th race, the Filly and Mare Turf.
Full Count Felicia, she is fast, and there is no other speed in this race, Scotty. She's going to do what they all want to do, wave, bye, Felicia, at 12-1.